Hi everyone, my name is Lisette and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how I created this cute boot to store my pens. I'm using a can and a 3-inch polystyrene ball. First step will be to cut a 1/4 inch of the ball with a craft cutter. The next step will be to cut about another 1/4 inch on the right side of the ball. Now begin to sand the edges because you want a smooth finish. Now on the top part of the ball, if you could sand in a curved form will be great. This will allow it to glue better onto the can. Here I'm showing you on screen how I will be gluing that part onto the can. But before we start gluing, we have to start working with 2mm foam sheets. Now this is a 2mm foam sheet. I'm going to wrap it around the can. Make sure you have enough sheet to wrap around and make sure it's tall enough to cover the can completely. Now I'm going to add some hot glue and I'm going to flap over that foam sheet to completely cover the can. Now this step is completely optional. I'm going to use my wood burning tool, a metal ruler, and a 2mm brown foam sheet. And I'm going to start to trace over to create a waffle ice cream look to the brown sheet. Again, if you don't have the wood burning tool, don't worry, you would just use the brown sheet plain. Here I'm going to iron this sheet. I'm going to turn over the part where I traced with the wood burning tool. And I'm just going to use the iron and the cotton setting, and I'm going to use a piece of fabric to protect the foam sheet. Once that foam sheet is nice and warm, it will start to curl. That's a good indication that it's ready. Now my foam ball, I did place it over a paint bottle because I need the support. Once that foam sheet is ready, you're going to simply grab it and you're going to stretch it down onto the foam ball. In this step, you will use little dabs of hot glue and glue the foam sheet onto the foam ball. It looks a little messy, but don't worry. I have finished gluing onto the foam sheet the foam ball, and I've cut all the excess off. Now we're going to glue this onto the can. Be generous with your hot glue and put as much as you can and hold it onto the can. Give it a few seconds. Don't let go until it's fully dried. Now this is the second sheet of brown 2mm foam. I also traced with the wood burning tool. I cut it enough for it to wrap over the boot. Now I'm going to punch some holes and set some eyelets. Now the eyelets I'm going to leave completely optional because I've noticed that eyelets are a little bit hard to put onto the foam sheet. But I was able to secure mine. It just took a few tries. Now I'm going to hot glue the bottom half of that boot onto the can and also onto the foam ball. and continue to glue it. Now this is a 6mm foam sheet and this will be the sole of the boot. I'm going to trace with a toothpick. First I place the boot over and trace, and you will cut. Once it's cut, you will glue it onto the boot. This is a perfect way to cover up that can. Now let's cover up the bottom edge of the boot, so you will cut a pink strip long enough to wrap around the entire boot. You will iron that pink strip. Now you might need to do this by parts because the strip is pretty long, but go ahead and iron and just start to curve it around to the boot. And after that, you will glue it onto the boot. Now on to my favorite part. Cut a pink strip that will be long enough to cover the boot and go ahead and trace some icing. Go ahead and freehand and have fun. Cut the icing, and now you're going to iron the icing to give it that puffy look. Remember that your iron has to be in a cotton setting. Now that it's completely puffed, wrap it around that boot and get ready to glue it. Now brush on some Mod Podge, and I'm using polymer sprinkles, and I'm sprinkling them all over. Now in this step, cut a few white strips. It doesn't have to be an exact size, just small enough that you will be placing over the boot. This is going to be like our fake whipped cream. Once those strips have curled, just fold them in half. Now here I'm using a fake cherry. Now I'm just going to cut it to the size of the cherry, and I'm going to glue end to end. We're going to be making like coils. Now you grab a second strip and place it over and glue it onto it. You should have a total of 3 coils, starting from large to medium to small. You're going to glue the bottom of it onto the boot. And now I'm going to put enough glue to insert the cherry in. And it's the cherry on top. Now for the final touch, I did add some ribbon, and I did add another coat of Mod Podge to seal the sprinkles. I hope you enjoyed this video. Oh, and by the way, I did add hot fudge with collage drizzle paint from Mod Podge, or you could use brown puffy paint. Well, I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. Thanks for watching and spending your time with me. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook and Instagram. Also, give it a big like and comment below. Until next time, and God bless.